or maybe my targeting is awesome. Let me look into it. Then you go to work. That becomes your reality. And then from that reality, you go to work basically trying to figure out how you can improve your ads. Okay? So the thought of this is a scam or this doesn't work doesn't come into your mind because you've interpreted the $50 of ad spend without a sale as just, hey, look, I need to improve my ads and my campaigns. So then that becomes your reality, and then you go to work trying to fix that, and then you move on to the next step in your business. Whereas if you compare it to this last one, then you basically stop in your tracks because everything becomes a scam, or this doesn't work, or I'll never be successful. And then that stops you from progressing, and then everything you do is going to confirm what you think. Now, for the second one, I've tested 5 products and nothing is working. Rather than saying I'll never be successful, a good interpretation would be, thankfully I can cross these off the list. Time to move on to my next batch. I know testing is crucial to success. So rather than I'll never be successful and feeling bad for yourself and letting yourself stop, and then the next product you test, it doesn't work, and then you say, oh, I knew it, I'll never be successful, and then you launch an ad, and for some reason it doesn't get approved, and you say, I'll never be successful. Well, if you instead you have the interpretation of, hey, look, this is just, these products didn't work. Let's move on to some new products. I know testing is crucial. Then when you launch your next batch of products, if they don't work, well, then your reality is basically like, hey, look, I know I have to test products, not I'll never be successful. And then if an ad doesn't get approved, you don't say, oh, yep, here's more proof that I'll never be successful. Instead, you say, oh, okay, let me set up another ad. So hopefully you see how that works, how the way you interpret things actually becomes your reality. And then everything that happens after that basically will confirm whatever that reality is. And I know this is really kind of deep into mindset stuff, but it's really, really true. Our minds are so powerful how what we think can really, really affect how we take action and how we progress. So more on interpretation equals reality. Like I said, you will find evidence to support whatever you perceive an event or a situation to be. So if you think this is too hard and overwhelming, well then anything that happens in your business, you're going to interpret that to be hard and overwhelming. So if you're just thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, this is so hard, this is so overwhelming, then when you go to set up new ads or when you go to do product research, you're going to be thinking, oh, this is so hard and overwhelming. It's going to confirm your interpretation versus if your interpretation was, I can't wait until I find a winning product to scale. If that's what you were just constantly thinking positive about, like, you know what, I cannot wait till I find a winning product, then everything will be interpreted through that lens. So when something goes wrong, it's just part of the process of finding a winning product. It's just, okay, this is just part of the process. That becomes your reality. Your reality doesn't become, oh, I knew this was too hard. I knew this was going to be overwhelming. All right, so very important principle there. Now, let's do some simple math that kind of helps with show perspective and interpretation when it comes to mindset. So this is really important for interpretation wise. So if the average person, you say you pick somebody off the street and they spend $1,000 on Facebook ads and they don't find a winning product right away, well, there's a good chance they might give up. And they would interpret that as a sign of failure. Oh, I spent $1,000 on ads. I knew this wouldn't work. I'm a failure. But you, okay, learning this stuff and really understanding what it takes to be successful, you understand that you might find a winning product tomorrow that eventually makes you $1,000 per day, right? So suddenly you spend $1,000 on ads and one person thinks it's the end of the world, whereas you would understand that, hey, look, my very next product I test might become a winning product that makes me $1,000 per day. And with that perspective and that interpretation, then your reality becomes, I'm going to find my winning product. And you understand that $1,000 you spent was just an investment on that journey. Now, a second example would be if an average person spent $3,000 on ads and doesn't find a winner, again, they might give up and interpret that as a sign of failure or as a sign of, quote unquote, this doesn't work. But you, as an entrepreneur and a business owner who understands what this takes to succeed, you understand that you might find a winning product next week. You spend that $3,000 and you don't see success right away, but then you understand that, hey, look, next week I might find a winning product that makes me just a couple $100s a day, $250 per day, which makes me $750. I'm sorry, $1,750 per week, $1,750 per week, which would be $7,000 per month. You can see here that just a couple $100s a day can add up to a lot per month. So suddenly, that $3,000 investment just built you a nice monthly income stream. All right, so think of it like that versus, looking at it as, oh, I wasted money, I'm a failure, I'll never be successful. It's an investment, and then you understand that, in your reality, in your world, in your interpretation, I'm just putting money towards my business, and I know that I'm going to find a winning product, and I know that, I'm going to make that back and a lot more. So the truth is, the only real way to fail is by giving up. Okay, so if you just say, you know what, this doesn't work, I'm not going to be successful, then again, that interpretation will turn into reality, and you're right, you won't succeed. Okay, so always remember that. Now, there's 3 things you must do to take this mindset and training, and basically to just really see success. There's really 3 things, and asking for help is crucial. Okay, we're here to help you, so no question. Don't feel bad about asking a question or think it's not a good question or anything like that. Okay, ask for help. Decide that you will make this work. Okay, take action daily. Have that mindset, that perspective, that interpretation that this is going to work, so that everything that you do basically confirms that. And then look at expenses in your business as an investment. Okay, you're a business owner, and you got to understand that your expenses pale in comparison to what you can make. Okay, so if you're spending on ads, you can't look at that and say, oh my gosh, I just spent $100 and I didn't make it back. And if you do that, you're going to constantly be in a state of worry and interpreting everything through a negative lens versus, hey, look, I spent money on ads, I'm learning here, and I can't tell you how many students I've worked with who it's taken them, lots of testing and lots of ad spend, but when they finally find a good product, they just within, weeks see all that investment come back to them, what they spent, and then so much more. All right, with that said, hopefully this video was helpful to you. Mindset is extremely important to your business, and I'll see you in the next video.